was a little bit more dangerous than it had to be. Probably just didn't expect to die or thought that he could trade hits with the boar. But chilling touch. Good ability.
That it is. Crap ton of damage. And when you got 2 balls as well as a Hawk up, you kind of feel like invincible. You see everything. You got just that slow that would stop the heroes from chasing you down. Mid lane seems to be pretty even between the Invoker as well as the DK. Maybe sitting at 11 for 3 up against the Invoker. The DK's 10 for 0. And Loader on the bottom lane, getting some good CS, but RTK is getting some really good levels as this Spirit Breaker. Like already level 3.5. Because the supports are on the top lane, Bulldog is falling behind a little bit with level progression.
Maybe he's doing a lot of damage in this mid lane.
Problem. Problem. Big problem. Not just for the fact that they had 5 players DC out, but it's also for the fact that you have DDC who's walked so far to the left that there's definitely some positional problems for DDC. He's right underneath EGM. He doesn't have poison. Actually, he can. He can skill up Poison Touch right now and just slow him down.
I don't know if that'll kill him, though. He's got boots. And he does still have, like, 500 HP.
True. That decay won't be going for another 8 seconds, so it's time.
Maybe he can't be happy about this situation right now.
Admiral Bulldog can still turn like...
I think he was going to go for the kill mid, too, on S4. Like, he was getting one more right-click off, and he had immediately skilled up the Sunstrike.
I still get that timing, right?
I don't think so.
Well, S4 is probably also going to be aware of that, so...
He has 155 HP. I think this is a little bit too much for him.
Alright, we're going to go again.
Yeah, it would have been just under anyways. He had S4 ended up with like 108. And DDC, even with the disconnect move, should be perfectly fine because he has boots and he's Bane. 355 move speed.
Yeah. That Alliance still come over and try and contest this pull point. Make sure they don't lose out on too much experience. Star's having to tank up a lot of the creep wave for this. He's down to only 1 tango. So they could lose a lot of life while up on the top. Like Bulldog's still got all of his consumables available. So maybe, is that even an indication that Alliance can be more aggressive, or Sylar should just be flying out some consumables to himself?
I think Sylar just flies out some consumables. Well, he's about to get the Ring of Health if he wants it. He should be okay once he gets that.
Is it risky to go directly for the Ring of Health and bypass your boots?
No, you have Blink. There's no stuns up here.
True.
Don't think it's too big of an issue.
Well, he's still going to go into the boots anyway, just in case. Loader's in very deep underneath this tower, battling against RTK. Luckily, he's got a whole bunch of himself, and with 7 tango charges as well as the Fairy Fire, it's difficult for Spirit Breaker to get an upper hand here. And Loader's got himself a small little like U-bend shape cut in to the tree line, so he can just keep playing from the Fog of War against RTK.
He's just trying to annoy ROTK while he CS's. ROTK is getting crazy amounts of bashes though on these creeps.
You'll get it to a hero and he'd be all worn out. Well, because he was pressured for so long by Loader, it means Loader's going to be picking up that bottom rune. Just a bounty, S4, won't be able to reach up to the top. In fact, DDC rotating in with the Illusion rune. He'll start with the Nightmare. What's maybe got? He goes for into the Tornado, up against S4. S4's just going to Dragon Tail. He still have 4 1 charges and a bottle charge available. So S4 should be able to survive through this. It's just the fact that DDC is being so aggressive and they already TP the extra support in. It's EGM with that Shallow Grave to ensure he stays alive.
I thought that was going to be a sure kill, but good play. S4, plenty of time to get out of there, no issues at all. I hear a charge.
Yes, bottom lane. Just RTK harassing Loader, nothing more.
Loader does have the bottle now though, so he should be okay. It does help a lot when ROTK can't really go for the bottle of his own. Loader should have the regen advantage here.
This laning phase, it feels so weird without the stuns. There's so many opportunities which you feel like could have had a lot more. In fact, maybe he's trying to create one now. RTK charging into the mid. He needs some more mana though, because he doesn't have enough to let off the Nether Strike. Which would have bought a little bit more time for maybe to attack, but with his Alacrity wearing off, and he had no other abilities at that point, they didn't have enough damage. It's also showing you that upgrade in the DK. that regeneration of 7.3 a second for your health, and you've only got 2 points up in the Dragon Blood.
Yeah, the number value for that seems a little bit skewed. Like, that feels amazing to me.
His level 2 Dragon Blood is equivalent to what it used to be at level 4. He's going to go into Dragon Form, RTK. Well,
catches the stun.
There's your range stun to stop Spirit Breaker from charging in.
I don't think they can kill him anyways, though. Like, MMY, or maybe he doesn't have the mana for this. And even if the Spirit Breaker ulties, I feel like S4, if he doesn't stun him there, if he eventually stuns him, he'll just walk away slowly. He's got a lot of armor, and most of Spirit Breaker's damage, although it does come from his ulti, does come from the bashes. It is the right clicks that matter for that hero.
Got the movement of the 2 supports back up to top lane again. Bulldog is still not level 6. So there's still no Roar available at MMY with a fresh ward being planted. Sees all of what Alliance is doing on that top and also blocks up that camp. You know how we had that game yesterday where I classed it as the most passive game of WCA so far? This may top it.
I don't think it's that passive, though. Like, players are trying to get in and stuff like that. It's just the aggressive tri-lane, they don't want to overextend. And the safe lane of Loda versus Spirit Breaker, this is a non-kill lane. And DK is just an incredibly like strong mid laner that won't die. He doesn't really have the best kill potential on a Quaswex Invoker. It's just a product of all the lanes.
So then does the question come in, like, where can you find the openings? Like, you're charging into mid right now, but the Observer Ward sees DDC. S4 will just back up, realizing he's being charged, or being attacked. The moves are just too easy to read, so how do you slip under the radar? How do you catch a hero off guard when they're not being aggressive?
Not sure. Probably just get levels first. This is why you're kind of seeing the passivity. Is you just want to wait for more guaranteed opportunities. S4 is going to pop that Dragon Form again, but
this is the second Dragon Form he's popped with minimal damage to the tier 1 tower.
I don't think it's so much for the tower. It's more so that you can see us.
Trouble again. Looks like Bulldog's going to be the second kill here for LGD. Anti-Mage this time around will be claiming it. At the time that Alliance supports moved out, EGM moved into the middle lane and RK went all the way down to the bottom. He's already starting to start to stack up the jungle and allow Loda to flash farm inside the jungle too. What do you want to see up on Loda? Like, is it directly, like you've got your bottle as well as your PMS, so maybe it's not so direct. But is Radiance the first item to get on him? Or is it worthwhile having something like BTs just to come and join the fights early on?
No, I don't think you ever get BTs first on Naga. It's too big of an investment. The only thing that you might see is if he goes for the Arcane Boots, so that you can eventually disassemble it into the Octarine Core. Because it is an item that you'll use later on into the game. But it's either that or you just go straight for the Radiance.
Oh, this game, Radiance does seem like a very nice choice. Bulldog's just hovering back. This time he's actually getting some solo experience underneath his own tower. So without the risk he had previously. And even when you start to decay over an RTK, like 1 decay and he's still got over 1k life. It really is, as you said before, like it's a no-kill lane. All Alliance can do is just start stacking up. How are LGD stacks? Because we assume the Animage will want to move over at some point.
No, I think he's going to secure his Battle Fury first. And the supports have been pretty active. It's not like stacking here is going to make or break them. They've been moving around quite a lot. The anti-mage already has Treads plus the Ring of Health. The Invoker's doing quite well for himself too. Like everything is kind of going up to speed so far.
It's going well for both sides. LGD charging into that middle lane once again. The Tornado not going to grab S4. S4 actually triggering its haste room, wanting to turn around on top of maybe with the Dragon Tail stun. He's got the 1 charges if he feels like Breathe Fire is going to be useful against the Invoker, which it looks like he does, maybe. Just backing up behind the tower. He's still got that Fairy Flower available, which he'll let off as RK came in for the decay. That would have actually been the death of maybe if he didn't have it. So the Tombstone dropped by RK behind the tower. Very easily picked off, and now S4 trapped. He's still in Dragon Form as RK, trying to give as much support as possible. Where's that Soul? Where's that Shallow Grave? EGM was out of range for the Shallow Grave, and Loda a little too late on that Song of the Siren, catching 4-bit Sylar, moving in for the pincer. Around the sides, he got Mana Void available. He could take a lot of life off EGM, instead he finds himself chasing after RK instead.
Oh, that would have
The
been...
SB charge keeps coming. Is RTK going to go underneath the tower, bashing into RK? Is there another strike available? The Mana Void's going to go, but the Shallow Grave. RK turns for a double stun, and Bulldog, the perfect time to come in for the Roar. Turning around this gank. Sylar still uncertain about where to go. Maybe it's being forced out by the illusions of the Naga Siren, and Sylar will also retreat out now.
A bit unlucky for him. If he blinks the other way, then he catches EGM, who doesn't have boots, and is 10 times the easier kill for him to go for. That probably is like 4 swings, 5 swings, and then you just pop your Mana Void. But they run into the Undying, who I'm a little bit surprised that they decided to go for, considering they didn't really know what the Dazzle was either. You can say that, okay, well, they had no idea that the Dazzle was there, but they did both walk in fog.
They might have also thought the Dazzle might have been a little bit too low on mana or something, because he didn't use the Shallow Grave before, but that was also just a question of range.
Radiant's top tower
LGD smoke move down to the bottom lane. They chilling touch up. They really want to find an opening. EGM already revealing MMY, but they charge down to Loda. They know there's no Song of the Siren in Loda. Well, he's going to do one quick Riptide, but the Nether Strike will just punch him back. And RTK will find that kill. EGM jukes it around the tree lines for a little bit, gets back behind the tier 1 tower into relevant safety. Relative.
Radiant's bottom tower
The anti-mage continues to scale pretty hard though, as does the Invoker. That's kind of scary right now for Alliances. Maybe once he gets that Orchid, it's going to be incredibly useful. And being able to pick off the Naga Siren too this early into the game, this is a fairly positive sign. Because this is around the time you want to start putting pressure. If you're LGD, you feel like you've got the CS advantage. You want to create some space for your anti-mage. You don't want them to have to participate in these early engagements. And the charge is coming in mid. Oh, nope.
Surprising. S4 stuck around so he could be attacked, because Arcane and Admiral Bulldog just smoked up behind his own tier 1 tower. It's like S4 wanted to be initiated on. But LGD pulled out. Something didn't feel right to them. And now Bulldog, his smoke's going to break. And with the Hawk up, you'll see ROTK back behind the tower. Now, LGD have no information about this, but Admiral Bulldog sees pretty much all. The primary thing he wanted to see is just ROTK there.
Do like that they're dragging pressure away from that bottom lane though. But in mid, oh, it's going to miss.
And now the Roar goes in ROTK, but Bulldog, okay.
I think that's just... Let's disengage now. Everything's been... You know, you guys messed up, we messed up. Let's just call it a day. It was evensies.
Let's just get back to the farming, right?
Yeah.
EGM's going to get attacked by RTK. Nether Strike's available. EGM also going to get earned, but he starts the weave. So if RTK wants to keep firing this one, it's going to allow Loda to also come with the Riptide and take a lot of life off RTK. But it's buying time. He goes for the Nether Strike. A Shallow Grave, great timing by EGM, allowing Loda to go for the Song of the Siren. The Ice Blast, however, EGM needs to get out in time. He cannot do it. The Song of the Siren will not protect him from that. And Loda TP'd all the way home too.
Yeah, that was meant to be just save EGM, but at least forcing him back here is pretty good. At the same time, the mid tower is taken by S4's Illusions, I believe.
It was
He's
that?
nowhere near the tower whatsoever. That's a pretty good take considering you lost your Dazzle right there.
If you're S4 right now, do you want to go for the Blink Dagger and become aggressive, or do you want to try and tank up against LGD's fight?
I feel like you just tank up right now.
Is BKB that path?
It can be. I don't know if going Blink, though, how reliable that is. I guess it's good against the anti-mage, but I'm not sure if he's not like a true core if they have the damage.
Alright, so LGD are taking this tier 1 tower without any kind of contest from Alliance.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Like, Loda's
attack.
still just trying to farm up the safe area. He's 1,000 gold away from having that relic.
Bottom tower has fallen.
But even if you lose this tower, he already
Dire's
claimed a
top
tier 1
tower
tower in
is
middle lane,
under
so it's not
attack.
that bad for you. Try and focus on something else, which would be a smoke gank on top. The primary target there is going to be Sylar. He's 600 gold away from the Battle Fury and maybe set back a little bit more if Alliance can get that initiation off. And Bulldog can see him perfectly. Like, if he roars from here, they can cut through the tree line. In fact, he actually cuts through the tree line first with the axes. S4 body blocked up a little bit by Arcane. He'll still get in range for the Dragon Tail stun, but then the EMP Tornado. Sylar, he blinks away. Bull's completely out of mana. They're going to Fiend's Grip him up, even though ROTK's charge is going to take care of the rest of it. Arcane going to get bounced back. He's got the Tombstone to try and help him out a little bit, but it's just not enough. And a big survival there from Sylar and a failed gank attempt from Alliance.
Yeah, they were trying to create some more space on the map for Loda, who's continuing to get closer and closer to that Radiance. And again, remember, this is what I said. You need a lineup that can kind of fight around without your core, and that's what they went for. And more engagements at top as maybe he's now going to go down,
What?
as does the Bane.
What?
That must have been...
What?
That was just 2 heroes by them, I believe.
It was for EGM.
Yeah.
They went for EGM under the tower. S4 TP's in, and while the tower gets every single kill, S4 soaks up all the experience, now hits level 11, and they lose 3 heroes underneath the tier 1 tower. Why?
Yeah, that was completely unnecessary, and probably more importantly, it loses you a lot of control. Like, it resets a lot of things for LGD now, because it allows Loda, again, safely farm. He has no pressure on the map anymore. The Invoker no longer is as close to his market. The Anti-Mage does almost have that Battle Fury, though, but it's not a phenomenal timing. It's just good.
Gonna be brilliant. Now, these Hawks really getting some good information about where LGD is moving around. And LGD, they have just moved to the jungle. With this Hand of Midas over an Ancient Apparition, like, he's gonna have some good timing into his Aghanim Scepter, as well as the timing to have that ultimate up at level 2, combining with the Axe.
Bulldog's gonna spot all of them.
Top lane. This is the play. S4, it has the Shadow Blade, starts with the attack, follows with the stun. Admiral Bulldog got his own stun. Spirit Breaker wants to charge away, but he won't have time. Beastmaster finds the kill. First rule uses the Necro book as well. But this will instantly mean the tier 1 tower.
Yeah, he's almost got Necro 2 as well. And S4, I like the decision for the Shadow Blade. I think he needed something that could deal damage and initiate. We were talking about that. It's like, okay, if he goes Blink, you can kind of see the merit in it because he needs some way to gap close against the Anti-Mage, but at the same time, they need him to be a primary damage dealer in this game.
Well, he's definitely becoming that. With all this tank ability as well, he's a big front liner that LGD just don't have the damage to bring down. You get maybe into his first item, so the 18-minute Orchid now in the hands of the Invoker. But who's he really go on? Like S4, okay, yeah. They both run into each other. One gets Colvia, the other one just pings out saying he's there.
Regeneration.
Found a rune.
Bottom tower is
Continues to farm. Looks like he's gonna go for the Manta before he goes for the Vlads.
Interesting choice. What is that primarily against? Like, just to burn off the mana of who? Who's he searching for?
I don't think
or is it the Tombstone play?
I think it's more defensive than anything. Like, I don't feel like he's gonna go for this Manta because of any other reason other than just the fact that he doesn't feel like the Vlads is as necessary.
LGD are trying to find the real Naga Siren. This is now the second time we've seen Loda play a core Naga, and from the time he gets his relic to, well, actually for this entire game, he's died once, but he's gone directly from the relic and not had that real timing problem of dying and then delaying the Radiance.
Is under attack.
Pretty much gets safe farm the entire time.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Alliance did a really good job of fighting 4v5 more or less and holding. It was that main engagement too where S4 just casually runs into 3 heroes that die to him in the tower.
Bought more space. Alright, so we're going to get a Vladimir's offering up for the Spirit Breaker, so that's ROTK's choice. And this is probably the reason why Sylar's not building it himself.
Yeah. I also do think that he should go for the Manta. The amount of things that... I guess there isn't too much that they can dodge. You can make it confusing though for Alliance at least. He's starting to get a decent amount of farm now. Now with the Yasha too, he should be able to farm these even faster.
A 20-minute gem from EGM. Interesting that he
Dire's
actually
top
does
tower
that.
is
Like,
under attack.
is there really that much peril? You're not going up against any invis units, so it's a purely de-warding kind of thing.
Yeah. Often, there's never a time period where I feel like you think to yourself, I went for that gem too early as a support, unless you just lose it instantly.
I suppose because they're combining it with Loader, you're going to find all the wards in the map.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you don't get the high
hunt
round
out.
vision. It's just it's just the illusions which see everything. Like this observer ward is not going to last much longer. The one on the hillside is actually a fresh one, but there's no vision up there. Charge coming to Bulldog. They're trying to help out a little bit more. RK is on his way. Potentially he can soul rip. They actually nether strike him back in to the Sunstrike, but ROTK losing so much life so quickly. Those Negra books just so high up, and Silent's got nowhere to go. He's trying to get rid of the Tombstone, but blinks back, but he's still in range of S4's attack. The Undying minions will keep chasing as well as Sylar blinks once again. The minions just keep running after him. 27 life, they're not going to make it. He'll blink away in time, but can anyone else get picked up by LGD? The Stragglers? No, they will not. They are out, but with the Necro units up, and with the SB down and LGD healing, this should be the tier 2 tower on the top lane.
They have so much momentum going for them now.
Dire's
Like
top
the Naga
tower is
illusions
under
are
attack.
enough to help out. They're going to throw out the AA blast, but I don't think this is big enough to turn, especially since it's only a
Dire's
level
top
1
tower
AA
has
blast.
fallen.
They can just kind of wait, chill out a little bit, no reason to panic too much. The DK's healing so much.
And with EGM standing behind it, like you think about the level 1 Ice Blast, once that wears off, EGM repairs all the damage. You don't even need to have the mech, which they don't have at all. Like they just went directly into the teamfight power, and that Necrobook turn on like ROTK, I wasn't expecting him to die that quickly, but I also didn't realize that like it's the level 2 Necrobook, now level 3 for the Beastmaster. Actually, is he bypassing level 3 to get... Yeah, it is. He's going for the Blink Dagger.
Okay.
So Alliance get the initiation, or okay, no he's not. He waited long enough for that. Invoker, okay, you're gonna get the kill on the Dazzle, but maybe still be chased down by the Undying minions. The one charge has let him survive through this, as well as the space created by ROTK.
He's
But
running
the
so
minions,
fast.
He is. But they're gonna try and slow him down. The Vortex, and now they earn him up too, so he'll survive.
That would have been perfectly fine if maybe he dies there, but they were unable to catch him. Loda does have the boots of travel now too, though. And S4 is about to get the second set of whatever item he wants.
Bulldog, where is that Hawk? At the same time, there's a Naga illusion there, so they can see this ward.
Dire's middle tower
Because they've been
is
watching
under
pretty
attack.
closely most of the movement of Alliance. Hence LGD, when they get really aggressive inside the Radiant jungle, aren't being too heavily punished.
Boots of travel completed now on Loda. This is going to allow him to TP into the Hawk, come in if his team, if his team's like, okay guys, we can win this fight if you're here. This is going to be a pivotal item in him farming as well. Like this is both an aggressive and defensive item for him.
I'm interested to see how much Lotus Split pushes with it.
It is
Obviously
a
with the
blink, by the way.
Spirit Breaker on the
Middle
field,
tower
it's
is
so
under attack.
dangerous.
I think it's okay though. He's done a good job so far. Like his team has been isolating out, forcing a lot of fights around the map. They've been building a lot of space for Loda.
He's still not bigger than the Anti-Mage though. Like that's a 12k net worth Anti-Mage. Who looks like he just completed, he's just completed his Mana Style. And they'll take the tier 1 tower as well with no opposition.
Under attack.
Alliance have no fortification for it, so they won't waste it. In fact, they just go for their own trade-off. A tier 1 on top for the tier 1 on bottom.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's
bottom tier
structures
1.
are fortified.
It's gonna get forwarded, but Sylar, he's just like, guys, I have to split push. There's nothing I can do about this.
It seems to be the right choice too.
Oh no!
Has fallen.
Well, you show that melee creep.
Alright, that was really unfortunate. The charge is gonna come in on top, but I don't know if this is one that you complete. No, it's not.
Oh. Sunning the ball. Gives you flashbacks to Soshka. Never forget.
I don't know if they get that kill anyway, so that's a weird position.
It looked questionable because the Invoker was also right behind him. So you think you get the kill, but then you get tornadoed and everything else. And they'll turn into Flash, to just farming up inside the Ancients.
Like the BKB decision though. stops you from getting Tornado EMP'd, and most importantly, makes you just incredibly tanky. No mana burn or anything like that. A lot of the Spirit Breaker's damage to Toby is magic. People don't know that, but Greater Bash, your ultimate, all of that's magic. But now, with the help of the Vlads, the Anti-Mage is going to clear out this giant stack. It's more than 3,000 net worth ahead of the Radiance Naga Siren. But still incredibly vulnerable. Like, if he just gets roared, he does go down pretty quickly with just 1 or 2 decays.
How does he inflict his damage as well? Once that BKB wears off, that mischance is still going to be hovering around from loaded the entire time. Same thing for the Invoker, but looks like maybe he's also building his own BKB. So I'm starting to get to the point where I'm wondering, how does LGD inflict their damage into Alliance? We've already seen how tanky they've been, but if the Ice Blast doesn't connect, can they still get the kills on Alliance when you find yourself in these 5v5 fights? I'll get my answer later.
Oh, I thought that was like one of those rhetorical things.
It was a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
We just didn't have another question that came after it.
It's fine, it's fine. Naga has a Blade of Alacrity. I mean, Lotus build is almost always just the standard. I don't know how worth it is to talk about it. You're just going to go for the Manta. Split push. Ake has a 4-staff. They're going to smoke S5. Probably try to invade.
You got Blink and level 3 Necro books. You want to try and find a kill somewhere if you can get it.
Yeah. They're even coming with Loda this time around.
The Hawk is scouting out everything, so they understand where they can be aggressive, but LGD understand that everyone's missing from the map. So they're just staying as 5. They Ice Blast to go and check Roshan, because maybe they thought, okay, no, they already Sunstriked that. So the Ice Blast flies over it. And S4. He's triggered his Shadow Blade. It's about to wear off, though. He'll have to trigger Dragon Form to get in range to stun ROTK, but ROTK, he's got the movement speed on him, and S4 is going to be picked up by the Tornado. So they don't find the kill on LGD, and LGD actually gets a vision over on EGM. They understand that the charge is coming. EGM, he needs a lot more help here. And ROTK, there's your Orchid. Dazzle's going to go down for the count.
The rest of the team's filtering in, but...
Oh, they jump.
I don't know if this is a fight you want to take, Alliance.
He blinks on Bulldog. They're going to reset this. The Song of the Siren, the Necro units are down for... Actually, he hasn't triggered the Necro units just yet, but they're looking at Sylar, but they stun on ROTK. The BKB's there from S4, but the Fiend Script from DDC is holding S4 in position. They burn through the Tombstone. ROTK trying to make more space with a charge through, but they're just getting spill damaged out by S4's Dragon. There they go, with 2 of them down. The burn happened the entire time. And LGD unable to inflict any level of damage in that fight.
Even 5v4. There's just so much that Alliance have right now. The team fight from them is so strong. You saw Undying steal like 30 strength in that fight. The Necro minions on top of the Tombstone, on top of the splash damage. Maybe he doesn't have a BKB or anything like that to speak of. He is going for it next. I think he realizes the danger that they're in, and he's like, oh, another fight like that, and they could probably just push into our high ground. So fairly disastrous for LGD, as they really expected to win that 4v5, but Alliance had the superior positioning, and they just surrounded them. The Naga Radiance eats into those heroes.
Yep. That's what I was actually really wondering about. It's like, with all the survivability of Alliance, how does LGD kill them? Like, you bring in your Animate, you throw them in the middle of the fight, but like LGD at the start of that fight, they also focused the Tombstone. Like, they tried to get rid of that before they actually fought Alliance. Which is what bought Arke all that time, to just decay and decay. And then when they finally did start attacking into Alliance, they didn't actually get a hit. The Shadow Blade came back off cooldown for S4, so he disappeared from their scopes. And then just waited for his perfect time to attack again. So Alliance, after that fight now, their advantage, they actually have the gold advantage. For the first time in this game, they actually have the gold advantage back again. They were 7.5k experience behind LGD2.
The Anti-Mage, he's got a lot of net worth, and he's going to parlay that into the BKB. I think this is a pretty smart decision considering how badly the last fight went for him, where he just got controlled up, and even though he does still have more net worth than the Naga Siren's able to do so much more in the fight because she's so much less afraid. But the charge is going to come in. They're all weaved up, though.
Wow, RTK gets stunned instantly. He doesn't get the charge finish. They can Nightmare and buy him some space. The Roar goes on top of Silence. This BKB time is being wasted. The Song of the Siren will trigger, and this actually isolates the LGD heroes. S4 triggers his own BKB. They've still got that tombstone. So many
maybe
minions
he's
on the
going down.
ground. The Shadow Wave will kick through. DDC has no chance of survival. EGM will TP out. Solo on life, which allows LGD to actually not get any kills.
Gets to 1 HP, TP's out. S4 leading the way for his team. There's so many different things. There's 2 boars, the Necro minions up. Look how quickly that tower goes down, especially with that Beastmaster aura. There's almost no chance they're going to be able to hold this set of Rex. And the team fight, it just isn't there for LGD, what looks so good in the mid game. Yeah, I feel they just didn't make the most of their opportunities, and every single time Alliance gets into a team fight, they're dominating.
I'm wondering too just how crippled they were for that 3-man feed underneath the tier 1 tower on top lane.
Yeah,
the space that was created for the Naga Siren after that, the experience, like S4 hit level 11 just by sitting there watching them die around him to the tower, and they committed all of that for EGM.
It was definitely not worth it. And, you know, it was the side EGM when he got caught off and he baited them into thinking, you guys, you can win this fight 4v5. I 100% doubt that that was the reason why he died, but it is paying off.
And now LGD are racks down. Roshan is up and looks like Sala's going to try and have a crack at it. He doesn't have the Vladimir's offering, so he's already down to basically 3/4 of his life. RTK will bring it in now. But you can see Alliance, they understand what's going on, and they're going to react. Song of the Siren's on cooldown for 20 more seconds. But LGD, just killing Roshan off in 20 seconds is going to be pretty difficult. Like, the Weave is also starting to affect him. Maybe is already going into the negative armor. With a Raw followed by Bulldog and the Necro units, they're starting to burn through the Invoker. He gets the BKB up, but he's already lost so much life while doing it. Roshan is a non-factor in this, apart from the fact he's actually hitting S4, but they've taken down the Spirit Breaker. Roshan will die as well, and that felt like the last play from LGD. You'll bring down, well, nothing. The Ice Blast will fly in. But no one dies from this. Bulldog is ticking, but he's still alive.
That was like a team effort from both teams. LGD is like, okay guys, we'll set you up for the Roshan and then you finish it. Now they're pushing down mid. S4, who's already quite unkillable with that Assault Curse, he's just going to march down mid lane. Completely unafraid of everything. The Glyph is still down. They know that. The Necro minions have died, but unfortunately for LGD, there's no real way for them to engage this fight. Alliance can just send in minions left and right. They never really have to engage straight up because of the Aegis.
And every single time you try and go for this, like look at maybe, you Fiend Script over on the DK, the Song of the Siren comes off and the Fiend Script's now going to go down. They'll move back. Wait, did he just...
still dies.
Oh, he just illusion kills the Invoker.
Okay, I think if you're Alliance right now, you reset the fight.
Is Evan White dead too? Oh, the Nightmare. It buys him the space.
Yeah, what ends up happening is Alliance, they reset the fight. Everybody goes to heal. You wait for the Necro to be up. S4 almost has the Dragon form back up. You have so much time on that Aegis because they just went from doing Roshan to immediately pushing. They still have like another 3-4 minutes that they can afford to wait, go for a death push right after, and it should be successful because they know how strong they are. They can just send S4 up without really too much fear.
I don't know if you have to even commit S4. Because Loda's now got a full heart. Like, you just let his illusions do almost half the work. Actually, does he have the full heart? He's missing the VIP booster. But for a Naga Siren, that's going to take little to no time.
They're coming mid now.
Yep. They want to finish the job. The tower's already down. The bottom lane's also pressuring in. And LGD, their only real good creep clear is Sylar. And he's actually having to wait for the creep wave to come to him to attack it. And already the illusions are beating into the range racks. Just trigger more and more. What's the item? So it's a Basher for Sylar being picked up now. So he gets some level of control, but the buybacks, if you look for them, there's none for LGD. They load us all over on S4, so there's no way for DDC to engage on him. He wants to Nightmare, he wants to Enfeeble, what? It's all just going to get reflected. He definitely can't Fiend Script.
They do have both available, but you can't just give up 2 sets of racks against a lineup like this.
Yeah, how do you stop it? You're being forced back to base by Naga Illusions. Maybe he's TPing up to the tier 3 tower and still half of his life, and they've lost the mid-racks.
Yeah, it's going down right now. And from behind,
Here they go.
RTK is going to charge multiple heroes. This might be their only opportunity to
The
fight.
loader. They just swung with the Siren. Maybe didn't get his BKB off, so it's Sylar, and only Sylar, who is up for LGD. They can move into ROTK, but this game is over. The GG is called as Carlay will connect on us too. That is all basically 5 heroes. The Bane's the only one that survives, but this is a game where Alliance, their timing, their attacks, that was so perfect for them.
Yeah, they just had so much going for them in that type of lineup.